Minnesota Twins in town to start a 4-game series here against the Tigers on a beautiful night for baseball here. The Tigers back home in the home whites, and we remind you, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Doug Fister taking the field here, leading the Tigers on to Comerica Park as they begin this series here against the Twins. Here's their starting lineup tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Denard Span will lead off in center field, followed by Ben Revere in right. Joe Mauer, the designated hitter tonight. Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Trevor Plouffe, who's been unbelievable this year power-wise. Domit, Dozier, and Carroll are your bottom 3 for Ron Gardenhire. Doug Fister is the starting pitcher tonight for the Tigers, presented by Soaring Eagle Casino.
Very important for Doug Fister to get off to a very good start here tonight. He really hasn't gotten off to good starts in prior starts this year. Therefore, he has lost 5 games. He's only won 1 game, and his earned run average is approaching 4 as we speak.
So Mr. Fister is all set to go to work tonight.
Beaumont Health System will sponsor the Tigers' defensive alignment here tonight. It's Barry in left, Jackson in center. Ryan Rayburn back out in right field today for the second consecutive day. It is fielder Santiago Peralta, the big fella. Miguel Cabrera anchored over at third, and Alex Avila is putting down the fingers tonight for Mr. Fister.
Alex Avila going out there on a nightly basis now, as apparently that knee is a whole lot better for him, and that's good news for the Tigers. Denard Span leading it off, and we are ready for baseball tonight here in downtown Detroit. First pitch of the ball game is on the way, and it's ball 1 to Denard Span. .275 batting average for Span this season against the Tigers, 7 out of 14. And there's a strike in the outer edge. 88 degrees our game time temp tonight, Rod.
Not too bad.
No, not at all. 1 ball, 1 strike. And there's a breaking ball in there for strike 2, 1-2. Span came in a .362 lifetime hitter against the Tigers, and as we mentioned, he has continued that trend here so far this year.
A little mini protest there by Denard Span. He did not think that that breaking ball by Fister was a strike.
There's another bender. That one misses low.
It's good that Fister's throwing breaking balls early, because what it does for him is it forces him to get on top of the baseball to get the kind of action that he needs on that curve.
Span waiting on a 2-2, and here it is. And he looks at strike 3. Top of the strike zone. Span didn't like that one either, and he'll walk back to the bench.
Because Fister stands 6 feet 8 inches, a tendency for hitters is when they see the ball come out of his hand, they think that it's going to be high. And here's a changeup that's probably the top of the strike zone. You probably can't go any higher than that and get the call, but it is a strike.
And a strikeout, the first of the game for Fister. That'll bring up Ben Revere batting in the 2 slot. And Revere looks at strike 1.
Even though Fister got a strikeout there of Span, he really needs to concentrate on getting the ball down. He can't live up in that area where he got a couple of strikes while Span was in that batter's box.
Yeah, the Rangers, I guess, taught him that in his last start. He gave up 9 runs, 8 of those earned in 4 1/3. Revere batting .320. Tried to check it and went around. 1-2. Revere, not a whole lot of power to speak of, has not homered this year, has knocked in 11. Began the season in AAA, has been in the big leagues since May the 17th. And he takes strike 3, got him looking. A good start for Fister, a pair of strikeouts. Well, first time through the lineup has usually been pretty bumpy at .329, but as the game goes on, it gets better. A little bit of a reversal of the trend here tonight, which is good news, as Joe Mauer stands in. Mauer at .324. And he takes strike 1.
He does that quite often. Take a look at where the defenders are. You have Peralta here up the middle, and you also have Santiago, who is shading Joe Mauer to the pull field, which used to be unheard of when he was in the batter's box. But this year, he is pulling a lot more baseballs.
Meanwhile, Pfister gets ahead 0-2.
21 to right, 29 to left this year so far from Mauer. And, of course, he hits lots of baseballs right back up the gut.
Scouting reports are always evolving. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And he missed it inside, 1-2.
One of the ways to get him to hit the ball to the second baseman, and that's when you're going good against Mauer, is you throw him fastballs inside like Pfister just did. And then you come back with something soft to get him out in front. And sometimes you'll get that ground ball to the right side of the infield.
Strike called. He got him looking, and Pfister strikes out the side. Mauer joined with Angel Campos.
It's going to be a big zone tonight.
Span, Revere, and Mauer all take a seat. On the Tigers now after an impressive first inning for Doug Pfister. He strikes out the side, all 3 strikeouts looking. And here's the Tigers starting lineup tonight, presented by Big Boy. Jackson, Berry, and Cabrera, your top 3 hitters. Prince Fielder, of course, the starting first baseman for the All-Star game this year. Young, and then Rayburn, Peralta, Avila, and Santiago are your bottom 3. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, Liam Hendricks is on the hill. He is presented tonight by Fox Volkswagen of Rochester Hill.
He made the team out of spring training, got a few starts, and struggled mightily. Went down to Rochester, pitched very well in 7 starts. He is now back in the majors, and Ron Gardenhire is hoping that some of that magic he had in the minors shows up here at the major league level.
Jackson getting set to step in between innings. Ron Gardenhire let Angel Campos know that he did not appreciate his strike zone. And there was a little bit of a shouting match between the two. Gardy made his final point, went back into the dugout. In fact, every strike that Pfister threw in that first inning, they were all called strikes. So here's Jackson. And Austin fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Well, Jackson has been red hot. He's hit safely in his last 8, batting .323 now. And he had a huge series against Tampa Bay, big home run in the 3rd game in that series. Here's a strike call now, 0-2.
For whatever reason, Hendricks has really struggled against right-handed batters this year. .422 against righties, .224 against left-handers.
1-2.
And they say that the pitch has been giving him problems is his breaking pitch. Whether it be the curveball or the slider. He has hung quite a few of those, and righties have made him pay.
Jackson watches that one break outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Austin 8 for 19 in the series against Tampa Bay. And really overall on the entire road trip was very good. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled away.
Austin Jackson was awesome a couple of years ago as a rookie. But for me, playing his best baseball these days in a Tigers uniform. Power showing up, extra base hits, lots of hits, scoring runs, runners in scoring position, you name it, Ajax is doing it.
Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Dozier on the charge. His flip is in time for the out. Nicely done.
The key to this play is the fact that Dozier knows that Jackson's running, and take a look at him surround this baseball. Look at where he is. Now watch him surround it because he knows he has to get his momentum carrying him back toward first base to get anything on his throw to get Jackson out.
Dozier has proved to be a very athletic shortstop. Made a nice play there to keep Jackson off the base pass. Now we'll see what Quentin Berry can do. Quentin batting .296. 6 for 13 against the Twins this year, and he fouls it off.
Trevor Plouffe down at third base, really crowding Berry, as do most third basemen.
Bouncing ball to short. It comes Dozier again, surrounding another one, and another flip is in time. Almost identical plays.
Let's check out the rest of the Twins defensively. You know that Dozier is at shortstop. It is Willingham in left, Span in center, Revere. He is in right. Trevor Plouffe at third, Dozier at short, Carroll and Morneau on the right side of the infield, and Ryan Doment is the catcher tonight.
Justin Morneau back on the field these days. Of course, the last couple of years he's been dogged by concussions and appears to be healthy once again. Other injuries as well. Cabrera looks at ball one. Well, one of the three Tigers All-Stars, Miguel Cabrera. He has knocked in 62 this season. In there for a strike, 1-1. In yesterday's ball game, Cabrera picked up his 100th hit of the season, and that leads all American League hitters.
Angel Campos, who is the home plate umpire tonight, appears to have a huge strike zone.
Chopper back up the middle, and Dozier won't get this one. It's a two-out single for Cabrera.
Cabrera does this as well as any right-hander in the game. Balls that are inside that most right-handers would tend to pull. He will take the ball that's down and in and hit it right back up the middle or the opposite way, and that's one of the reasons why his batting average is always hovering over 300. There's proof of that point.
He's going to bring up Prince Fielder. And he looks at strike one. Skipper was asked today what he thinks about Fielder and Cabrera, that duo now, as to what he thought he would get at the beginning of the year. And he simply said, well, they're both going to Kansas City. That pretty much sums it up.
Yes, indeed. They've lived up to the hype.
Prince is torn up Twins pitching this year. 11 for 18. He cuts and misses 0-2.
It must be a really nice luxury if you are Jim Leyland and you can take all of your scorecards in spring training and you can simply pencil in Fielder and Cabrera every single day, and they just don't take days off.
Hard hit ball to Dozier. Nobody covering second, so he'll get Fielder down at first base. Inning is over. No runs, one hit, one left, and we go to the second. taking out the side. He got Span, Revere, and Maurer all looking. And as we go to the second, it'll be Josh Willingham to start things off for the Twins. Willingham, then Morneau, and then Plouffe facing the Tigers right-hander. Willingham has 17 home runs this year. Pfister in this half inning will face three hitters that certainly have the ability to hit the ball out of the park. A lot of power here in the second for Minnesota.
Minnesota Twins could have made a very strong case for Josh Willingham making the All-Star team this year. With 17 big flies and 55 RBIs. Those are All-Star worthy numbers, but everybody just can't make it.
1 ball, 1 strike. And that missed the outside corner. 2-1 on Willingham. And the Twins will send Joe Mauer to the All-Star game. He was the one representative for Minnesota. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Good breaking ball there by Pfister. 84 miles an hour. And one thing Willingham has done quite a bit of this year, he has struck out 75 times.
In the air, right field on a line. Rayburn comes over. Willingham is out.
Take a look at the body of work that Pfister was able to do last year in a Tigers uniform. Everything is at the bottom of the zone because the arm slot is coming right over the top. He had good action on everything he threw, whether it was the fastball or the breaking ball or the changeup. But take a look at this year. The arm slot not necessarily over the top. It's off to the side. Therefore, he's thrown a lot of hittable pitches. And that's why the numbers for Pfister this year not nearly as good as they were a season ago. Simply leaving way too many balls up in the zone.
Breaking ball drops in for strike one on Justin Morneau. Twins bat here in the second. 1 out, nobody on. Morneau with 34 RBIs this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Morneau 5 out of 12 in the recently completed series against the Kansas City Royals. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Looks like Doug, for me, early in this game, has thrown quite a few breaking balls and changeups. Very conscious of not being fastball happy early in this game.
Swing and a miss, and another strikeout for Pfister. That's his 4th of the game already.
He's about 50% fastballs and 50% breaking balls as we speak, and that's a real good breaking ball there that looks like it's right down the middle to Justin Morneau and simply slides inside in an unhittable area.
That's the kind of movement on that breaking ball we've been accustomed to seeing from Pfister.
He wasn't happy with his last outing. Of course he wasn't in Texas. A career high runs he gave up to them, 9, 8 of which were earned. And he said he simply had to get back to the drawing board, go watch some video and make some adjustments. It's that simple.
He gets ahead of Trevor Plouffe, who sits safely in his last 3. Pfister working quickly. Swing and a miss. 0-2. He has Plouffe set up 0-2, and here it is. Just off the plate. Plouffe 5 for his last 11, has had a power surge this year. 18 homers for the Twins' third baseman. Ground ball to short. That'll be a routine play for Johnny Peralta, and the inning is over. Back to back 1, 2, 3 innings for Doug Pfister. Since 1849. Chrysler imported from Detroit. And by Country Fresh, be your family's below zero hero. Back here at Comerica Park on a steamy night here in the Motor City. 88 degrees our game time temp, and so far Pfister has been really good. 2 scoreless innings. Now the Tigers come to the plate here in the bottom of the second. It'll be Delman Young to lead it off, then Ryan Rayburn and Johnny Peralta against Liam Hendricks. Tigers got a 2-out single from Miguel Cabrera in the first, but could not score him. Here is Delman, who's starting to pick it up a little bit offensively now, and he looks at ball 1. Young has hit safely in his last 5. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Look out, sails over his head. 2 balls, no strikes on Young.
Dangerous count here for Hendricks if he decides to throw Delman Young a 2-0 fastball.
That'll get back out of play. 2-1. Liam Hendricks is only 23 years of age. Was the Twins' 2011 minor league pitcher of the year. Had some really good numbers last year. It was 12-6. Rolled foul, make it 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's a native Australian. Perth, Australia, just 23 years of age. Hendricks still looking for that first major league win. He got a call up last year and is winless this year. Tipped it into the glove for strike 3. First strikeout of the game for the right-hander. By the way, this game is available tonight in really cool high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Xfinity from Comcast. I'm sorry, Rob, but I think I'm tapped out of words.
You tapped.
I'm tapped. The shtick may be over. We got it into July, so it was a great run.
And we'll pick it up later in the season.
Yeah, we'll see. Here's Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn is still hitting only 182, but there are signs, at least there were in the month of June, that he's coming alive again. There's a ground ball to third. Tough play there on the backhand by Plouffe, and he throws him out. 2 gone.
This is the first look that we have gotten at Trevor Plouffe at third base. He simply crosses over. He gets the ball before it goes foul. He sets his feet and gets it across the diamond to a big target over there, Mr. Marneau.
Plouffe had issues with his throwing in the past from several different positions, but he has been much more on target as that last play displayed. And there's a liner straight at Willingham, so it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Liam Hendricks. And you're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. is brought to you by Arby's. Barbecue lovers rejoice. The barbecue sandwich is back at Arby's. Get yours today. And by AT DET, the nation's largest 4G network. AT DET, rethink possible. Back here at the ballpark, where not only do you get good baseball, but you get good food as well. I'll take me one of those right now. It is a scoreless game as we go to the top of the third. And Fisker back to work, throws a strike to Ryan Domet. Doug has retired 6 straight to start the game, 4 of those via the strikeout. Domet has been hot. In fact, he's hitting 10 straight. Balled inside, 1-1. 276 batting average for Ryan Domet, 13 for his last 35 at bats. Avila setting up inside, and that one missed. Oh, it missed so much that it hit him. So the leadoff man is on. First batter that reaches for Minnesota. Barely grazed him. If you're going to get hit, that might be the best way to get hit. Barely. Here's Brian Dozier, who bats .231. He's already made a couple of nice defensive plays. Waves and misses 0-1. Dozier has knocked in 20. He's hit 3 home runs this year.
When Dozier first came up, he got a lot of fastballs, as do most rookies. They want to see if you can really hit that pitch. And once you prove to major league pitchers that you can hit their fastball, then they simply throw you lots of breaking balls, and that's kind of been Dozier's issues lately. His batting average at .231 as we speak.
Ground ball to third. Cabby has it there to second one. Here comes the relay. Double play. Hard hit ball right in Miguel.
One of the things that Cabrera has done very well defensively is that once he does get the ball in his hands, he gives the second baseman, it doesn't matter who it is, a really good feed. Look at where this feed is to Santiago. Santiago wasn't even on the bag yet. That's where you want the baseball if you're the shortstop. Now you take your hand, reach up, and get the ball across the diamond.
2 out, base is empty. Here is Jamie Carroll. Missed outside, 1-0. Carroll batting .248. Recently completed the series with KC, just 1 for 10 in that series. 1 ball, 1 strike. Minnesota won the last 3 in that 4-game series with the Royals. Right back to the box, knocked down by Fisker. He's got plenty of time, and he throws him out. No runs, a hit batter, nobody left. On our way to the bottom of the third.
that heat was just ridiculous when they were in Texas, and of course with the pitching down at the Trop. He knew it was going to be a tough road trip. He thought that the team handled it well. Of course, you always want to win more, but 500, not too bad. He also mentioned that everybody was kind of talking about this Tigers turnaround and how the team was turning things around before they went on the road trip. He says he was hoping that it was going to be then, but he says he's having a pretty good feeling that this actually might be the time that they're going to turn things around and the opportunity going into the All-Star break, and then, of course, coming off of the All-Star break. Mario and Rod?
Yeah, Shannon, I agree, too. I think, Rod, we're starting to see signs, whether it's offensively or whether it's consistency in the rotation. And, of course, the bullpen's been great.
No doubt. I thought that was well put by Shannon, talking about how grueling that road trip was. They went into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has one of the better home records in all of baseball, and great pitching. You know what Texas gives you, both sides of the ball. Then they went down to Tampa and played good baseball, too. So it was a tough trip.
Meanwhile, Alex Avila leads it off here in the bottom of the third. Avila, Santiago, and Jackson. Scoreless game so far. Hendricks has surrendered only one hit to this point, a single by Cabrera. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Avila really starting to swing the bat well lately. And that hand quickness is back because his lower half is more stabilized. They do go hand in hand.
1-2. Only had 3 hits in that series against the Rays. 7 on the road trip. We all know the type of numbers Avila put up last year. They were all-star numbers. Avila now batting .247. Here's the 1-2. And a cue shot into left, base hit.
Here's a little sample of the damage that Avila did on this recent road trip. He's staying back on the ball. That left knee, it's all about the left knee. He was a little reluctant in sitting on that knee because he didn't know if there was structural damage in the knee, but now he has confidence to sit back there, and because he's sitting back there, he's got good balance. And when you have good balance, you get good hand quickness, and he's always had, I should say, really good hand-eye coordination. So you put all that together, and you get a hot Alex Avila.
There's Santiago. And Ramon has hit safely in his last 3. Leadoff single here for the Tigers, their second hit of the game. A scoreless contest in the third. And the runner goes, and a bouncing ball scooped up by Morneau, but he has only 1 play. That'll move the runner up.
Hey fans, the Tigers host the Twins tomorrow through Thursday at Comerica Park. July 4th, all fans will enjoy a special postgame fireworks show. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Well, Avila now gets into scoring position and a chance for the top of the lineup. Here comes Austin Jackson. Grounded out his first time up, batting .321. And he takes ball 1 inside. Here's the Mazda scouting report. Austin Jackson, second best increase with runners in scoring position from 2011 to 2012. 370 this year with men in scoring position. A whole lot better than what he was able to produce last year. And last season, in some ways, Rod, just a growing season, I think, for Jackson.
It was. He learned a lot. He persevered. He never lost his confidence. He still went out there every single day. Jim never lost confidence in him. And because of that, he's having a really good 2012 campaign.
That one missed outside, and now the count goes to 3-0. Alex Rios having a better year this year for the White Sox, and only Rios was better in that differential between 2011 and 2012. But Jackson has certainly improved, and he looks at a strike, 3-1.
Jackson hitting over 600 when he's ahead in the count. Where he sits right now, 3 balls and 1 strike. And as you could imagine, that's the best batting average in the majors.
Now the 3-1. There's ball 4, and the Tigers have 2 aboard. Hendricks has his first base on balls. That'll bring a visit out to the mound for the catcher Doman. And it's going to bring up Quentin Berry here with 1 out.
Tigers have several guys that are doing pretty good work when runners are on base, and Quentin Berry would be one of those guys. And of course, you know, the big fella Cabrera and Fielder have done a lot of damage when runners have been out there. But Q, when he got here, known much more for his speed than his hitting ability.
Yeah, no doubt. And he has provided both, actually. Showing bunt. 1 ball and no strikes. Tigers rarely have had a guy where as soon as he comes to the plate, automatically the third baseman comes in a couple of steps. They used to do that, I guess, with Curtis Granderson, even though he didn't bunt a whole lot.
He did not. Jackson has speed, but Jackson didn't cause the infielders to pinch him the way that Berry gets pinched.
Now Hendricks falls behind, 2-0. Gene Lamont running through the signals. Here's the 2-0. And a strike called on the outer edge. 2-1 on Quentin Berry, who's been on base in 8 of his last 10 for the Tigers. Berry hit his first major league home run on that last road trip. In fact, it was the first leg of the trip in Pittsburgh. The 2-1. Missed it outside. 3-1.
He is flirting with danger now, and knowing that number 24 is sitting in that on-deck circle.
He is 1 pitch away from loading him up and facing Cabrera. And a line drive to left, base hit. Here comes Avila. They're going to hold him at third base, and that will load him up.
He probably could have scored there, but Gene Lamont did not want to run into an out at home plate. But Willingham had no ideas of throwing this ball home.
Yeah, you could just tell by the way he was playing it. So Gene Lamont takes the safe route because this is the guy coming up. 424 career with the bases loaded. And Cabrera lives for these opportunities. A chance to break it open early here for the Tigers. Crowd starting to make some noise now. Another good gathering here in the Motor City. Ball 1. If you're an opposing manager, this is probably the worst situation you could possibly think of here. Cabrera with the bases loaded and Fielder waiting on deck.
No doubt about that. Cabrera, best hitter in baseball, and Prince is a proven run producer.
Cabrera 1 for 1. He sends one foul back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Cabby's numbers kind of speak for themselves. These are Major League Baseball ranks. Hits, RBIs, multi-hit games, hits with runners in scoring position, and he drives in big runs too.
High towering fly ball, deep left center field. Span going back, edge of the warning track. That'll get a run in. The 2 back runners tag up and move up as well. Jackson and Berry. And Cabrera makes it a 1-0 game. With a deep sacrifice fly.
He got a real good pitch to hit. Didn't quite barrel it up the way that he's capable of barreling it up. And Denard Span had to go back and get it in. Jackson on second and Berry on first. Alertly got back to the bag to tag up, and Berry now standing in scoring position as well.
So first base is open here as the Prince stands in, and he won't get a chance to hit. They will walk him intentionally, much to the dismay of the crowd here in attendance tonight. Delman Young is waiting on deck, the right-hander, so they'll take their chances with Young.
The last two times they have walked Prince intentionally, Delman Young has come up with base hits to drive in runs. Only David Ortiz of the Boston Red Sox has been walked intentionally more this year than Prince Fielder. David has been walked 10 times, Prince now 9.
Well, they're loaded up again. We'll bring up Delman Young. And Delman struck out back in the second, 0 for 1. 2 outs, and Liam Hendricks trying to get out of this frame with the least amount of damage. And he throws ball 1. Yes, you get Fielder out of the way by walking him intentionally, but boy, you really have to throw strikes now. With no place to put Young. And Delman popped it up. Right side of the infield. Carroll at second base hauls it in, and that is that. Tigers settle for 1. They leave him loaded. The Big Mac using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number to 37338, or if you'd like you can vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game. Early returns have to be in favor of Fister as one of the Tigers leading the way because he's been really good. The leadoff man Denard Span is up there, and Fister now has gone 7 of 10 in first pitch strikes. It'll be Span, Revere, and Mauer. Tigers grab a 1-0 lead on the sac fly by Cabrera.
Doug also pitching much more aggressively inside to some of these left-handers than he has in the past. And when you're able to do that, that kind of opens up the outside corner because the hitters start to look inside. And then you throw the changeup fading down and away, and then you backdoor him with a breaking ball, and you can get some swings and misses.
0-2 on Denard Span. Revere waiting on deck. Fister struck out the side in the first and has a total of 4 in the game. He's also been helped out by a double play. 0-2, the count stays on Span.
Nice spoil there by Denard. Pfister tried to backdoor him with a breaking ball. Nearly had it.
Span trying to slow down Pfister. Slowly gets back into the batter's box. And again the 0-2. Bouncing in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's how you get Denard Span out. You get him out with changeups. You get him out with breaking balls. He's hard to throw a fastball by because he doesn't have a whole lot of movement, and he uses his hands very effectively.
Missed it again. 2-2. Pfister has been really good here at Comerica Park in his career. 5-3 in this ballpark, but his ERA is just a shade over 2. Trying to shake off the effects of that last start in Texas. Lost in Pittsburgh as well on the road trip. Now the 2-2 pitch. And that's high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the full count pitch. A little cue shot right at the third baseman Cabrera, who jumped up for it. 1 gone. Time for a game break now as we go back to the studio. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. You mean Trumbo didn't hit a home run?
He is having a great year out in Southern California, as is that youngster Mike Trout. I can't wait to see those two.
Yeah, they'll both be at the All-Star game as well. Strike 1 on Ben Revere. Tigers lead 1-0 here. They have 3 hits in the ball game. Twins have only 1 base runner, and that was Domet. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and there's a line drive base hit to center. It's their first hit of the game, and it comes here in the 4th inning. One on, one out, and that'll bring up Joe Mauer.
Revere has outstanding speed standing over at first base talking to Prince Fielder. 15 steals. He's been caught 4 times, but you know the story on Pfister by now. And he is nearly impossible to run on. He is that quick getting the ball to the catcher.
Mauer is struck out back in the 1st. Have you seen the June numbers on Joe Mauer?
I have not.
397 for the month of June.
That's probably why he made the All-Star team this year.
Yep. And reports of his demise greatly exaggerated. Of course, Joe had a tough year last year.
He did, but he's a special player. Great hitter. Has been a great hitter since coming to the majors. We just saw a real good hitter in Texas in Michael Young. A guy that has that classic inside-out swing for a right-handed batter. Mauer has that from the left side.
Now the 0-1. We'll shoot that one foul down the left field line. 0-2. Well, if you look at the last 4 years, you can see that Mauer's numbers were at a lofty height in 09 and then 2010. Last year he dipped a bit. Now in 2012 it's been kind of a comeback season for him.
He's had a healthy offseason where he wasn't rehabbing any injuries or anything like that. He was able to get stronger, get his mind right.
One thing we do know is that apparently Target Field has really affected his power numbers. They were much higher at the Metrodome. As Revere gets back.
Joe does ground into quite a few double plays. He has grounded into 14 of them this year.
Fister missing inside.
I like the aggressiveness here tonight of Fister to the left-handed batters with the cut fastballs inside. He's really tied up quite a few of them.
And the 1-2. Line to center, base hit. Mauer with a solid single, and the Twins now have runners at first and second with one out.
He got a change up, and he stayed back long enough to allow that ball to get into the hitting zone. And here's that classic inside-out swing that Mauer brings to the dance every single night.
That single will extend Mauer's current hitting streak to 10 straight. And now the tying run in scoring position out at second base for their cleanup hitter, Josh Willingham, who was 0 for 1 in this game. He flied out to the right fielder Ryan Rayburn his first time up. Avila can't find it, but locates it quickly, and the runners hold 1-0. Fister cruising along, faced the minimum through 3, but he's given up a couple of hits here in the fourth. Willingham in his first year with the Twins, coming over from the Athletics where he had a big year last year, knocked in nearly 100 runs, finished with 98 RBIs. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on Willingham. Twins lost a lot of power in Kadire and Kubel in the offseason. They added Willingham, though. And so far he has provided 17 long balls. Missed it high.
Willingham and Miguel Cabrera were once teammates when they were both playing for the Florida Marlins, now the Miami Marlins.
There's a base hit to center field. Here comes Revere rounding third. He'll score 3 straight singles, and the Twins have tied the game. Willingham picks up his 56th RBI.
It's an 87-mile-per-hour cut fastball here. Actually, it's a sinker that does not get down because of the tailing action, and at the top of the zone at that velocity, not many hitters like Willingham going to miss that pitch.
Each team now with the run on 3 hits. It'll bring up Morneau, and still only 1 out in the inning. Morneau looks at ball 1. He was also a strikeout victim. That was back in the second. Wave and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We gave you some numbers on Fister earlier in this game where he has had difficulty getting through the opposition the first time around, but second, third time around, numbers really good. He flipped the script on us tonight. First time he was good, struggling here now. Second time through this Minnesota batting order.
The other thing is, coming into this game tonight, opponents were batting just 196 against Fister with men in scoring position. And really their only scoring opportunity so far tonight, and they've cashed in. On the Willingham RBI hit, Trevor Plouffe, more power waiting on deck. The 1-2. Fouled it off. Morneau just gets a piece of it to stay alive. Morneau not going to the All-Star game this year, but he's played in 4 of them. As we mentioned earlier, Mauer is their only representative. Mauer right now at second base. One of the 3 consecutive hits the Twins have put up. Off the end of the bat. Morneau earlier this year passed Michael Kadire for 7th all-time on the Twins doubles list. He's at 245 two-baggers in his career. And the 1-2. Little number off the end of the bat. Cabrera will charge it. And he'll get Morneau at first base. Will advance the runners. 2 gone for Trevor Plouffe, who for whatever reason has gotten really hot in terms of home runs. Look at the month of June. 11 home runs of his 16 total.
Had Trevor Plouffe had options available, the Minnesota Twins no doubt would have tried to send him back down to Rochester for some more seasoning. But they were afraid if they would have tried to send him down because he had no options, someone would have taken him. And judging by the numbers he's put up lately, someone would have gotten himself a pretty good player.
Oh, no doubt. And Plouffe went through a stretch in which he hit 7 homers in 7 games back in the month of June. As we just showed you, he finished with 11 in the month. And Fisker nails the outside corner. 1-1. Meanwhile, Danny Valencia, who was their third baseman last year and had a pretty decent season, did not play well this year, and now he's looking at Plouffe taking off with the big club. Bouncing ball foul, third base side. 1-2 on Trevor Plouffe. .26 pitches in this inning now for Doug Fister. It's been kind of lengthy. Here's the 1-2 way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, it's been a big difference with runners on as compared to the bases empty. 16 solo shots this year for Plouffe. And he sends a single into left field. This might get 2 runs in. Here comes Barry's throw. It's off target. Plouffe will go to second base with a 2-run single, and the Twins have their first lead.
It's a pretty good swing here by Plouffe. It's a breaking ball that stays up. It was an identical area that Willingham drove in the first run of this inning for his club, but that was a fastball Willingham got. Now all Fisher just needs to do is concentrate on getting the ball back down in the zone as he did the first 3 innings of this game.
33 RBIs for Trevor Plouffe. He is out there in scoring position as well, taking second on the throw. And Domit looks at ball 1. So the Twins answer the Tigers run with 3 of their own here in the top of the 4th.
Jim was talking about this Minnesota Twins team in his office today before the game, and he says they have really been swinging the bats well.
And there's a base hit to right field. Here comes Plouffe rounding third. They'll send him home. Throw to the plate. Not in time. He scores standing up. Domit with an RBI single.
That didn't appear to be a bad pitch by Fister. It was down in the zone. It was a changeup that Domit was able to reach out and hit right back past Prince. Good strong throw by Ryan Rayburn, but not in time.
Domit gets his 35th RBI of the year. Jeff Jones out to have a chat with Fister now to try and get him back on track. 4 runs on 5 hits in the ball game.
All 5 of those hits in this inning.
Indeed. In fact, coming into this 4th, Fister had just hit 1 batter, and that was it. He hit Domit in the third and then got a double play. Here is Dozier. He is the 8th man to bat in the inning. And he sends it foul down the left field line. 4-1 Twins. Fister needed just 34 pitches to get through the first 3 innings. He has now thrown 32 in this 4-run fourth alone. Here's the 0-2. Dozier slaps one into right. That's a base hit. Doman on his way to second will rumble in there and stop. And another hit for the Twins. That'll put runners at first and second. And Gene Lamont has to get on the telephone now. Fister has allowed 6 hits in this 4th inning. That'll bring up Jamie Carroll as they bat around. Here's the 9th man to hit in the inning, and Marte beginning to heat up. Bouncing ball left side. Cabrera cuts it off. He'll flip to second for the force. And the inning is finally over. However, it's a big inning for Minnesota. They score 4 times.
He came into action tonight with the worst run support in the American League. Minimum 5 starts, albeit just 2.10 runs per game. They have scored him double that already today. So he must feel like a kid on Christmas Sunday.
Yeah, you got to be loving this. We'll see if it holds up, though. The Tigers now trying to come right back here. They're down by 3. And it'll be Ryan Rayburn to lead it off, then Peralta, and then Avila. And Rayburn looks at strike 1. Ryan grounded out his first time up.
Tigers had him on the ropes last half inning, and they had the bases loaded with just 1 out. And Miguel Cabrera in the batter's box, they only scored 1 run in that inning.
Yeah, as a result, the Tigers have stranded 4 so far in this game. Fister, by the way, now has thrown 68 pitches. 34 of those came in the last half inning. It's up to the offense now to try and get him some offense back.
I believe they will, the way that they have been swinging the bats the last 5-6 games.
There's a high fly ball left center field. Span is on the run, still going back. Warning track to make a basket catch.
There is nothing better than watching a center fielder that gets these kinds of jumps and takes their eye off the baseball initially and gets to a spot and runs it down.
One out here in the fourth. Now Johnny Peralta. Lined out to left. His first time up. Strike one.
Hendricks so far pitching to the ballpark. Very spacious Comerica Park. There's been a couple of really deep fly balls that Span has ran down in center.
On the ground to a busy Dozier, who handles another opportunity. Two gone. That'll bring up Avila. Well, Hendricks, as we mentioned, was 12-6 last year. 2 stops in the minor leagues. Considered one of their top prospects in terms of pitching. He was their minor league pitcher of the year last year.
He got sent down to the minor leagues after a handful of starts in the majors this year, and his numbers in Rochester were eye-popping. Really nothing more he could do down in AAA.
It's just a matter of bringing those numbers and having them play at this level. There's a little looper into left field and a diving attempt and a trap by Willingham. 2-out single makes Avila 2 for 2. Willingham stretching out. We'll bring up Santiago now. We're talking about those numbers that Hendricks had at AAA. 5-0 with a 1.94 ERA.
7 starts.
So that really wasn't a lot of a challenge for him down there. 1 ball, no strikes. Santiago looks at one in there. 1-1 on Ramon. Grounded right to the first baseman Morneau his first time up. 4-1 Twins lead. We're in the fourth. That'll get back out of play. 1-2.
Hendricks had food poisoning at the beginning of the year. And because of that, he did not make his first start of the season until April 15th. I don't know if that played into any of his struggles early because he wasn't strong or not, but that's a fact. He did have food poisoning.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Top of the order waiting on deck. That would be Austin Jackson. Foul back out of play. Well, the Tigers swept the Twins in a 3-game series in Minnesota back in late May. They've won 3 of the 5 between these two teams. Smiley and Scherzer picked up wins in that series, along with Villarreal in relief. And again the 2-2. Bouncing ball back up the middle off the glove of the pitcher. Dozier, nice play. Got him at second. Boy, Dozier's been all over the place in this game.
to the season, but I sat down with him today. He said he's not disappointed. He understands how the whole process works, and while it would have been exciting and it's a great kind of personal thing to add on as a personal goal, it's not his main goal. He wants the team to do well. He feels like they're going in the right direction now, so he's not upset. Also talked to Joaquin Benoit, who a lot of people thought would also be a good candidate. He said he wasn't even surprised because it's so difficult for a setup man to make it to the All-Star game. He said he had a similar good start to the season when he was down in Florida, and that he was not surprised he did not make the team this year. But, of course, thrilled for their teammates, Justin Verlander, Miguel Cabrera, and Prince Fielder, who will be playing in the All-Star game next week. Guys.
All right, Shannon, thanks. I've got to believe, Rod, that Austin Jackson's got to be just a teeny-weeny disappointed. Don't you think?
No question about that. I mean, that's your competitive nature. But he is such a humble young man. He's got great parents. He's well-grounded. He's been well-grounded since he's shown up in the big leagues here. So it's good for him to answer the questions like a pro. Now, that's how a professional would answer the questions. But deep down, you're right. He would love to go to Kansas City. He deserves to go to Kansas City.
Well, here is Denard Span starting things off. In the fifth inning, Span, Revere, and Mauer. That's rolled foul.
We talked about this yesterday briefly, that the All-Star team this year, as far as the pitchers are concerned, are made up of starters and closers. These guys are setup men who are having outstanding years, and if not for what these guys are doing, their closers aren't doing very well.
That's a good point. They get the ball to the closer. We've seen Pistano and obviously Benoit. We haven't seen a whole lot of Pedro Strop, obviously, because we haven't played the Orioles yet.
Well, Jim Johnson, his closer, made the All-Star team, so that kind of gives you an idea that Strop is doing a very nice job getting the ball to Jim Johnson. Of course, Chris Perez made the All-Star team for the Cleveland Indians. I don't think there's a tie-in to what Papa Grande has done so far this year. My thing with Benoit is he's been so good the last 3 years. You need a setup man on your All-Star team.
Alberti just kind of loosening up now in the bullpen. Throwing a little bit. And then handing out a souvenir. And then he'll go sit down. Benoit, meanwhile, is getting the shoulder ready in case it's needed tonight.
They all have their routines down there.
Well, it is time now for the Ace Hardware Scott's fan poll question. We'll keep on this theme of these four players. Which is the biggest snub? Is it Johan Santana? Is it Zach Greinke, who's had a fabulous first half? A.J. Pierzynski among catchers, as good as you're going to get numbers-wise, or our own Austin Jackson? Enter your vote by texting ACE, then a space, and the letter answer to 37338.
Zach Greinke for the Milwaukee Brewers is pitching like Zach Greinke when he was wearing a Kansas City Royals uniform.
And you can catch the All-Star game on Fox this year on July the 10th in Kansas City.
I'm sure Joe Buck and Tim McCarver will be doing that game.
And they're studying as we speak.
And Erin Andrews is going to make her debut on Fox at the All-Star game this year.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Why would I know that?
I'm just saying.
You're right. I read the papers. Then Revere, the batter. And back in there is Denard Span. So it's been a rocky last inning, and now a leadoff walk here in the fifth for Doug Fister after breezing through the first three. As a result, Twins have a 4-1 lead. Span has 9 steals this year in 12 attempts. The guy at the plate, Revere, has 15 steals. Way inside. Avila has to go down there to block that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now Prince coming over there to have a little chat with Fister. Doug needed just 34 pitches to get through the first 3 innings. He's already up to 76 now as we play in the 5th. Slap down the left field line, foul ball. Revere making a bid the other way. 1-2 the count stays on Ben Revere. A single and a run scored in the fourth. Revere had a 3-hit game earlier this year against the Tigers back in May. And a ground ball foul. Fister is all about upsetting the hitter's timing, and at least at times tonight, Roddy, he seemingly has gotten some awkward swings.
He's got to make an adjustment, though, because they made an adjustment to him in that fourth inning where they scored 4 runs. And now he needs to get back to where they're going inside and make sure he gets the ball down again. He didn't make many mistakes early.
That's into center field, a base hit. Span on his way to third base. Here come the Twins again. They have a walk and a single. And now Revere has his second hit.
And they're going to have to get somebody up again in that Tigers bullpen. Almost looked like Span missed second base. If he did get it, he just got a little bitty piece of it. How much did he get of it? Ooh, just a piece.
Now Marte starting to warm up again in the Detroit bullpen. He was up earlier.
Joe Mauer will take the first pitch 9 out of every 10 times he goes to the plate, but he has already swung at a first pitch strike here tonight from Fister. His last time up, he swung at the first pitch that Fister threw in that at bat.
Singled, scored a run in the fourth inning when the Twins put together 3 consecutive hits to get a run across. They would eventually go on to score 4. And there's the strike on Mauer. 1 for 2 for Joe Mauer, who now has a 10-game hitting streak going. The 0-1. 0-2 on Mauer. Talked about this so many times, Rod. When you have a guy like Mauer who takes that first pitch 9 out of 10 times, that just shows supreme confidence in his ability to hit behind in the count.
Even though he is behind right now, no balls and 2 strikes, he still feels like he's going to get a good swing and hit the ball aggressive somewhere.
And he pulls it foul outside of the bag at first.
Not a lot of guys can take the first 2 pitches and still have that kind of confidence.
Mauer swings at 8.8% at the first pitch. Sweeney only at about 5%. The others on that list. Fouled it off.
Mauer credits his high school coach for his plate discipline. He said that his high school coach used to throw him batting practice, and he threw the ones right down the middle in a really good area where he would always hit those hard. He would throw some that were out of the strike zone and he would swing at them, pop them up and whatnot. And his coach said, well, there you have it. Why would you swing at some of those pitches that are out of the strike zone if you can't put them in play effectively?
Makes sense.
And since that day, Mauer has tremendous plate discipline. Doesn't swing and miss that often.
Meanwhile, here's the breakdown on Fister. He's thrown 84 in the game.
It's a lot of pitches. No outs in the 5th. He might have 100 before the inning is over. That is not Doug Fister.
There's a hard hit ball into right field, base hit. That'll get another run in. Holding at second base is Revere, and Mauer has his second hit, an RBI, and it's 5-1, and Jim Leyland has seen enough.
He finally threw a really good breaking ball at the bottom of the zone, and most left-handers love the ball down, and Mauer hits a rocket right past Prince Field.
So Fister will give up the baseball. Mauer gets his second hit. Doug walks off the field, and it's a wall-side windows pitching change in this one. Tigers will bring in Marte. We'll be back.
For the 2012 MLB All-Star Game, go to FoxSportsDetroit.com now, and you can vote for Allison and Lauren as they compete against the other Fox girls from around the country. Vote for your Fox Sports Detroit girls, Allison and Lauren, now.
Well, the Tigers find themselves trailing by a 5-1 count right now. Still nobody out. 2 men on, and Luis Marte will take over now on the Detroit bullpen.
Well, somehow, some way, Marte has to slow down this Minnesota offense that has perked up the last couple of innings against Pfister. 8 hits in the last inning plus.
Meanwhile, Josh Willingham will step in against Marte. Walk and 2 singles, knocking Doug Pfister out of the game here tonight. Twins have 8 hits.
Pfister in the first couple of innings today had a good fastball, had some life on it. He struck out the side in the first on really good fastballs, and for whatever reason, he went to his secondary pitches in the 4th inning, made an adjustment when he really didn't have to. And they started getting some base hits on some breaking balls.
Ball 1 outside. It was looking in the first 3 innings like Pfister was going to be around a long time tonight.
Yes, it was.
And he had struck out the side in the first. And just mowed him down through 3 frames, but it came to a screeching halt in the 4th. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on Josh Willingham. RBI single for Willingham in the 4th. He is 1 for 2. They have Revere and Mauer on the base paths. Ball low. 2-1. Willingham now with 56 RBIs. After driving one in the 4-run 4th. Sends a high fly ball to left field. Quentin Berry is under it. Runners are tagging. Berry makes the play. Revere's going to try and move up, and he does. Meanwhile, Mauer scampers back to first.
You will not see a lot of major league players do what Revere just did there to Quentin Berry. And Quentin Berry did not get caught sleeping. He got behind the ball. He came up and fired the ball to third base, but the speed of Revere allowed him to beat it. You will not see that very often, but it gives you an idea of how fast Ben Revere is.
So now here's Morneau with runners at first and third and one out.
Revere caught Mauer by surprise that he tagged up on that fly ball to left field.
There's a drive into shallow left field, and Berry comes out to make a diving catch and then dropped it. A run will score. Revere is in. Mauer gets to second base. Berry made a diving attempt but could not hold on to it.
Ball was in the glove and just couldn't close the glove.
In and out of the leather. RBI hit for Morneau, and it's now 6-1. And still only one out in the inning. Here's Trevor Plouffe. Swing and a miss. Two more runs in for the Twins here in the fifth, and they now have 9 hits on the board. Plouffe knocked in a couple with a base hit back in the fourth inning. These 2 runs are the property of Pfister. In fact, the runner at second, Mauer, is still his property. And the 0-1. Swing and a miss. All 9 of the Twins' hits in this game are singles. Marte working out of the Detroit bullpen. Was to break camp with the Tigers, but started the season on the disabled list. There's a ground ball foul, third base side. Hamstring strain, the problem for Marte, and we're seeing that injury crop up quite a bit. In fact, there's some thought that maybe the hamstring problem that Dirks had has led to his Achilles problem as well. Saw Andy before the game, and he's still a ways away, still in that boot. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Plouffe goes down on strikes. Tiger bullpen's been pretty good.
Last 39 games, ERA shade over 2. That's the best in Major League Baseball, whereas the first 36 games, they weren't very good.
They were awesome in the game yesterday in Tampa. There's ball 1 to Ryan Domit. 6 runs, 9 hits tonight for the Twins. Tigers have a run on 4 hits. Detroit has stranded 5 in this game. Outside and high, 2 balls, no strikes. Tigers coming home for 7 leading up to the All-Star break. They've got the Twins in for 4. And then they'll see the Royals over the weekend. Missed again.
Ryan Domit was just given a 2-year extension by the general manager, Terry Ryan, which will keep him in a Twins uniform through the 2014 season.
Well, they signed him in the offseason in November as a free agent. Right now enjoying an 11-game hitting streak. He's going to take on 3-0, and it's ball 4. That's going to load the bases. So back-to-back ugly innings for the Tigers in this game. We'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Brian Dozier. Twins were able to bat around in the 4th, sending 9 men to the plate, and now 8 more here in the 5th. Strike one on Dozier. 95 from Marte. Marte had a really good offseason. He pitched in the Dominican League, the Dominican Winter League, and for Licey gave up just 3 runs in 20 innings of work. He had 16 strikeouts, and then, as we mentioned, earned a job in spring training as well.
He was game ready when he got to Lakeland in February.
Wave and a miss.
That is one of the advantages of playing winter ball, is when you do get to spring training, or what other guys are kind of working themselves into shape because they haven't played over the winter. You're good to go.
1-2 on Dozier, a single and a double play ball in this game. And he shoots that one foul, back out of play. Dozier down in the minor leagues was hitting .276 in 28 games at AAA. Has been called up. And has a chance to really bust this one wide open here with a base hit. Here's the 1-2, and he fouls off another. Jamie Carroll would be next if Dozier were to reach.
Marte has a really good breaking ball and a really good changeup. His best shot at getting Dozier out might be going to one of those secondary pitches. He's been all over his fastballs.
In the air, shallow left field. Quentin Berry coming on, and they will leave him loaded, but they get 2 runs to go up 6-1. And you're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. To Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Well, the Tigers have some work to do here. They've given up 2 more runs, and they now trail 6-1. And Liam Hendricks so far has been pretty good. He's walked 2, he has fanned 1, given up 4 hits. And really, the turning point perhaps early in the game was when the Tigers had him loaded, settled for 1 run in the 3rd, and they left him loaded. The 1-0 to Jackson is grounded foul right by Gene Lamont at 3rd. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson, Berry, Cabrera, top 3 facing Hendricks. And a ball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Jackson came in with the 5th best average in the American League. Wave and a miss. 2-2. And it seems like every part of Austin's game has gone to the next level, with the exception of defense, which has been at the top level even coming into the season.
That's right.
Here's the 2-2, and is Luke back out of play. Barry on deck. And then on his hands that time, and he fouled it off. Jackson's on base percentage is .405. Hendricks, the native of Perth, Australia, back to work. The 2-2 is outside. 3-2. Tigers need some base runners here to start this comeback. They're down by 5 runs in the 5th. And the 3-2. Line drive. There's your base runner. A leadoff single.
The Tigers battle the Kansas City Royals this Friday at 7:05. All fans will enjoy a spectacular postgame fireworks display. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit Tigers.com. Friday nights are always special here at Comerica Park.
Yes, they are. And this Friday will be no different as Quentin Berry stands in. And Berry looks at ball 1 as Doman is able to block it. Of course, the 4th on Wednesday this year, and it'll be a night game here at Comerica Park, and fireworks after that game as well. One ball and no strikes on Berry. And he missed it outside. 2-0. And now Doman will slow things down a little bit here. Berry had a single back in the 3rd, which set up a Tiger scoring chance.
Well, Doman is out there just trying to make sure that Hendricks understands that he has a 5-run lead, and he should not be paying that much attention to Austin Jackson on first base. That's the reason why he's fallen behind Quentin Berry. He's been too quick trying to get the ball to home plate to make sure Jackson doesn't get a good jump if Jackson is in a running mood.
And he missed again. Now it's 3-0. Hendricks has lost 5 consecutive decisions. He's got the big part of the Tigers lineup lurking. That's Cabrera. Then it would be Fielder. Berry looks at ball 4. Now you got a single and a walk to lead things off here in the 5th. 3rd walk of the game for Liam Hendricks. So an opportunity indeed for the Tigers. Rick Anderson looking on, not too thrilled about the developments here in the 5th. Cabrera had a deep sac fly in the 3rd, knocking in a run. The only run so far for Detroit. Ball 1. Cabrera now with 63 RBIs. And now Rick Anderson coming out. Hendricks now throwing too many strikes here in the 5th.
When Miguel got his 100th hit yesterday down in Tampa, he became just the 7th player in Tigers history with 100 or more hits, 15 or more big flies, and 60 or more RBIs before the All-Star break. It's a very impressive list with Greenberg, Kaline, Cash, and Horton. Ordonez recently did it in 2006. And Cabrera has done it twice in a Tiger uniform.
Yeah, so technically it's only 6 players that have done it, but Cabrera doing it twice, which makes it even more impressive.
Well, the other guys that have done it have statues, and they have their names and numbers all over this ballpark.
Here's the 1-0, and it's outside, 2-0. And the plot starting to thicken now for Liam Hendriks.
Most hitters that are as big and strong and physical as Cabrera is in this camp, well, they will be looking to hit something to left field. But Cabrera will still stay with the same swing and hit something up the middle or to right center field.
The 2-0. In for a strike, and Hendriks desperately needed that one. 2-1.
Miguel was taking that 90-mile-per-hour fastball all the way.
Drill toward left field. That's going to get down. It'll go all the way to the wall. This should get 2 runs in. It will. And Cabrera pulls in with a double. 6-3 ball game.
Let's make that our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Hendriks started out by going away from Cabrera. And then Cabrera took a 90-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle. Now he gets 91 down and in. And for him to take that particular pitch and whistle it in that gap is simply amazing. He is a phenomenal talent.
And Cabrera has all 3 RBIs so far tonight for the Tigers, 65 for the year. And it's all of a sudden a 6-3 ball game. Still nobody out, and Fielder up there. Tigers answer the 2 spot for the Twins with 2 of their own and maybe more. Hamilton leading the American League with 73 RBIs. Now Cabrera second behind him as Anthony Swarzak warms up. 1-1 on Prince Fielder. Fouled away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fielder tonight an intentional walk and a ground out. And the 1-2. Missed it inside, 2-2. Fielder wearing his sunglasses here at night. He used to play with a guy named Corey Hart in Milwaukee. That'll bounce in. And the count goes to 3-2. Tigers just couldn't get a whole lot going offensively, but they have sparked here in the 5th inning. Delman Young is waiting on deck. Hendriks has gone to his 2nd full count in this game. It's to the dangerous Prince Fielder. Way inside. Doman's able to stop it. Cabrera not going anywhere. Ball 4 will put runners at first and second. Trivia time now. And it's compliments of AT&T. Here is our question tonight. Other than Prince Fielder, name the 5 Tiger first basemen to start an All-Star game. So as you work on that, Swarzak is coming in, and Liam Hendriks unable to go 5. So he's out of the game, and we'll be back. On here, and Prince Fielder just drawing a base on balls to send the starter Hendriks out. The home run derby participants, by the way, have been announced, and Matt Kemp is the captain of the National League team, Cano of the American League team, and look who's on his club.
Yeah, they've assembled some nice squads. Prince Fielder will compete along with Bautista and Trumbo, and it's Stanton, Gonzalez, and Beltran to help out Matt Kemp, who is on the disabled list as we speak, but he's going to participate in the home run hitting contest.
Prince won that in 09 at Busch Stadium. He finished 3rd last year. Cano won it last year. We'll see how Prince does this year. Delman Young standing in, and Swarzak gives him a breaking ball outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Swarzak has been pretty good this year in inherited runners. Only 1 of the 9 have scored so far that he has come into games. He's also done a nice job in retiring the very first batter that he faces when he does come in. They are just 1 for 18 against Swarzak, which is a sub 100 batting average.
1 ball, 1 strike on Delman Young. Delman a strikeout and a pop up. Tigers clawing back into this game. They were down 6-1. A 2-run double off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. Wave and a miss, and it's 1-2. Ball gets away, and Delman can't pick it up. Cabrera scampers down to third base.
He's a good base runner. He's not the fastest base runner on the Tigers team, but he's a good base runner. As soon as he sees the ball down, he's got some momentum already going toward third base, and he knows that Doman can't find it. He's able to get over to third without a throw. Doman also turned the glove the wrong way.
Wild pitch has been ruled. High fly ball center field, deep enough to get the run in. Backing up is Span. Cabrera tags up. He'll come trotting in. Throw comes into second base. Sac fly, RBI for Delman. So the wild pitch proving costly. 6-4 ball game. And some life now on the Tigers bench. Here's Ryan Rayburn. And he looks at ball one. So that run will be charged to Liam Hendricks. Hendricks had a chance to win his first big league game here tonight, but he couldn't complete 5. So even if the Twins do win this game, he will not get a victory. So he remains winless in his major league career. One ball, one strike on Rayburn. Ryan 0 for 2, ground out and a fly out. Showing bunt. 2-1. Coming into the ball game tonight, since the beginning of June, Rayburn was hitting .313 from June 1 up until tonight. And while that is not overwhelming, it's a start for a player that really struggled in April and May. The 2-1 pitch rolled foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Johnny Peralta waiting on deck. The inning started with a single by Jackson, a walk to Berry. That's when Cabrera went to work and knocked in a couple with a double. Fly ball, left center field. Willingham is under it. And Rayburn is out. Fielder returns to first base. We'll bring up Johnny Peralta. Johnny 0 for 2 tonight. In there for strike 1. Swarzak has been in the big leagues parts of 09 and 2011 and this year as well. He appeared in 27 games last year, and the Twins used him in a starting role and out of the bullpen. Johnny couldn't hold up. Count goes 0-2. Last year as a reliever, an ERA a little over 3. Not as good as a starter. Swarzak hails from Fort Lauderdale. Still lives there. Here's the 0-2. Doman has to block that one as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Doman has had to do that quite often here tonight.
And the 1-2 outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Peralta had 8 hits on the road trip. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Tipped into the glove for strike 3. Inning over. Tigers, though, bounce back. A 3 spot here in the 5th.
We haven't been on the road. We've had 3 of those 10, 11-day trips already, and I think we got a couple more. Some years you just get that schedule.
Well, the Tigers come in sub 500 at home this year, 17-18, while they've played 500 on the road. And Skipper's right. It seems like we have a lot of those long road trips this year.
No doubt, but 14 of the next 17 games Detroit plays will be right here at Comerica Park. So if there was ever an opportunity to take advantage of that, they can do that the next 3 weeks.
I agree. Marte back to work now. It's a brand new ball game. 6-4. Tigers down by 2. And Jamie Carroll stands in, or Dozier rather. No, Carroll. Dozier made the final out of the 5th inning. Carroll is the only Twin that has not reached base in this ball game tonight. It'll be followed by Span and then Revere. The 0-1. Missed it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. A couple of ground balls for Carroll in this game. Marte had to take over for Pfister in the 5th inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Carroll waves and misses, and it's 1-2. Marte typically the first guy that Jim Leland will call on if his starter gets in trouble early in games. Pfister had to come out, although it was the 5th. He was up in the 4th as well, as Pfister gave up 4 in the 4th inning. Here's the 1-2. And as we have seen already tonight, Marte's job is to make sure he gets outs and gives the offense an opportunity. One ball, 2 strikes. Popped up. Shallow center. And Jackson comes in. 1 out. Back to the studio we go for a game break. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mickey, thank you. Here it is 6-4. The Tigers with a bit of a comeback after trailing 6-1. And a strike called on Denard Span. For as hot as that Angels team was in the month of June, they were not able to catch or make any ground up, I should say, against Texas, who was really good as well.
It's because Texas wore out the senior circuit. They wore out the National League. Texas won 14 games in interleague play.
Meanwhile, in the Central, the Tigers are only 3 back coming into play tonight.
White Sox, one of the surprise teams in all of baseball this year so far. I guess you could say Detroit is as well.
Yeah, for different reasons. 2-1 on Span. Denard had a walk, which got things rolling in the 5th inning when the Twins got a couple of runs.
Denard Span's name always comes up in trade conversation whenever a team is looking for a center fielder.
He'll get back out of play.
But he's very valuable to the Minnesota Twins, getting on base in front of the M&M boys. And, of course, Josh Willingham now slotted in between Mauer and Morneau. Ron Gardenhire looking for his 900th victory as a manager. Sitting on 899 as we speak.
He's had a terrific run and had a really good run of winning Central Division titles. Here's the 2-2. Slap foul, back out of play.
Span is one of those guys that does something that a lot of guys are able to do. You see the front foot just gets down, and therefore the head stays still, and he's able to foul off lots of pitches. And if you make a mistake with 2 strikes, he'll hit it hard somewhere.
Way inside.
He is the 5th toughest player in the American League to strike out. Denard strikes out once every 9 at-bats.
Well, we've talked about how dominant he has been against Tigers pitching in his career. Over the years, he's had 25 multi-hit games against Detroit. 362 lifetime coming in against Tigers pitching. Just one of those guys they've had trouble getting out. 3-2 is whistled foul back in the seats.
He almost had a 2-homer game against the Tigers when the Tigers visited Minnesota their last trip there. His first time up, he missed a home run by eyelashes, and then later in that ball game, he hit a home run. Target Field, not the easiest ballpark to reach the seats in.
This will be the 8th pitch coming up in this at bat, and here it is. Little bouncing ball right side. Santiago gloves it. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. Now Ben Revere. Revere's had a nice night. 2 singles, 2 runs scored. 2 out of 3 overall.
You always have to be aware of the bunt, and when Revere's in that batter's box, 6 bunt base hits already this season.
And Cabrera he's on the grass. More sacrifices as well to go with those 6 bunt hits. Here's the 1-0. Still kind of surprised that through the year they have not tested Cabrera any more than they have in terms of dropping down bunts and making him come in and make that type of play. The 2-0 pitch is in for a strike. 2-1.
I think a lot of teams are watching what we watch, and the fact that he has played third base very well this year. And therefore, I think some teams feel like if they did challenge him in that regard, they simply would be bunting themselves into outs on most occasions. He's got a strong arm, and he's been good down there.
3 balls, 1 strike.
But it's a great point. I thought the same coming into the season, but you watch him play there, and the way that he handles his business, he's been better than advertised at third this year.
Now the 3-1 pitch. And it's a walk for Ben Revere, who's on for the 3rd time in this game. It's going to keep the inning going for Joe Mauer.
Last 2 times Ben Revere was standing on first base, Doug Fister was in the game, and Fister is nearly impossible to steal second base on. He will run with Marte on the mound.
15 steals for Revere. In fact, he led all rookies last year with 34 swipes. So a definite threat. Ball outside to Mauer. No surprise, he took the first pitch. And Avila now will head out to the mound. There's more action in the Detroit bullpen. Lefty Phil Koch warming up. Mauer 2 out of 3. He's knocked in a run. He has scored a run. Missed again. It was Marte's 40th pitch since coming in last inning.
All of a sudden pitching away from contact.
Mauer has 37 RBIs, a 10-game hitting streak going as well. And he takes another one away, so it's 3-0. Twins trying to get something going here with the 2-out base on balls. Here's the slugging Josh Willingham waiting on deck. And Mauer takes ball 4, back-to-back walks with 2 outs. And that is now going to bring a visit out from Jeff Jones.
While Jeff Jones strolls out to the mound to have a conversation with Marte and Avila, it gives us a chance to tell you that tomorrow night there will be more baseball as the Tigers continue their series here with the Twins. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live. That's Tigers baseball tomorrow at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Marte now has walked 3 since coming on in the 5th inning. 4 total walks for Tigers pitching. You got to deal with Willingham now.
It sounds kind of crazy, but after a visit by the pitching coach and a couple of back-to-back walks to Revere and Mauer, sometimes it's not a bad thing to swing at that first pitch because it usually is a fastball that's right down the middle. We'll see what Willingham's in the mood to do.
He's taking at it, strike 1.
9 out of 10 times after the pitching coach goes out and a pitcher is struggling, that is really the best time to ambush that pitcher.
6 runs, 9 hits for the Twins. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Tigers. Twins have 2 men on.
And the flip side of that is you pop it up, everybody saying, why didn't you take it?
Exactly. What were you thinking? That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's why this is such a great game. It's a fascinating game.
A couple of quick outs. The fly out by Carroll. The span ground out, but the 2 walks giving the Twins an opportunity here. Here's the 1-1. Checked it. Outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Willingham an RBI single. He was part of that 4-run 4th.
And Luis Marte a little afraid to throw the ball over the dish. He has thrown 45 pitches since coming in. 22 of those have missed the strike zone.
Whoa. Not a good ratio. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Yet he is 1 pitch away now from shutting down this frame.
It's always a positive thing if you can throw an off-speed pitch in a fastball count to a dangerous power hitter like Willingham.
And he fouled it back out of play. Well, I would think this would be his last hitter regardless, because you've got Morneau waiting on deck and you've got Koch ready to go in the Detroit bullpen.
Agreed.
Two and 2. 6-4 in favor of the Twins. Outside, and now it goes full at 3-2. This also means the runners will be on the move here. There's Morneau waiting on deck. And the 3-2. Fouled straight back.
Everything that Marte has thrown here to Willingham has been outside.
And he walked him. Boy, 3 straight walks after he got the first 2 batters. How about that? Jim Leland coming out now, and that's going to be it for Marte. So they're going to have to deal with Morneau here, and they'll bring the lefty Phil Koch in to do so. And as Koch comes sprinting in, we will step aside. In a 6-4 game, we'll be back.
Also worked yesterday down in Tampa. He was part of that quartet that Jim Leland allowed to finish the game. It was Villarreal, and then it was Koch, and then Benoit and Valverde. They all did marvelous work in Florida yesterday.
Well, here is the Farmers Insurance report card, and we look at the splits on Phil Koch, and this year he has been much better at home.
He sure has.
1.65 ERA compared to over 5 away from Comerica Park. And so it's his job now to get Morneau with the bases loaded. Only 3 for 13 against Phil Koch. Key spot in this game is the Tigers try and keep it right here. They're down by just 2. And Morneau swings and grounds it to second base. That was easy. 1 pitch, inning over. No runs, 3 walks, 3 left. Koch's fired up. here get the lowest tire price period. Bell Tire. And by Toyota, brought to you by your Greater Detroit Toyota dealers. Back here on a beautiful night in the Motor City. Full moon out here tonight. It is 6-4 in favor of the Twins as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And the Tigers fighting back after falling behind 6-1 in this game. Got 3 in the 5th. Now we'll see what they do here in the 6th inning. It'll be Avila Santiago and Austin Jackson. Alex 2 out of 2. Couple of singles, a run scored. And Swarzak missing outside with a breaking ball.
Avila has that batting average over 250 and climbing with the way that he has performed. The tail end of that 10-game road trip. It started in Texas with Avila.
And it's good to see because Alex was such a vital cog in the offense last year. All-star season for Avila. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes.
A lot of baseball left in this contest for the Tigers. They have quite a few at-bats. And they can make up the 2-run deficit, no problem.
Swarzak had to replace the starter, Liam Hendricks, who was knocked out of this game 3 batters into the 5th after they gave him a 6-1 advantage. There's a ball that missed again. 3-0. Santiago waiting on deck. That's in there for a strike. I was talking to Alex about his high school days, which of course part of them were spent here in Michigan. He went to De La Salle High School and played summer ball in Ann Arbor, and he told me that in high school he used to pitch, which I never knew before, but he threw between 90 and 94 miles an hour. The 3-1 is whistled right at the first baseman. Morneau picks it up before it hits the ground.
I guess that kind of explains his strong arm and his ability to throw out base stealers.
Yeah.
He's dialed in right now. Everything that he is hitting lately right on the screws.
1 out. That's going to bring up Santiago. When I asked him how hard he threw, he nonchalantly said, I don't know, between 90 and 94. I'm thinking, really? He didn't think that was a big deal.
He didn't.
But he had just one pitch, as he said, a blazing fastball. That was it. And once he got a little bit older, started hitting some home runs, he wasn't going to develop his pitching prowess. There's a ground ball right side, fielded by Carroll, and a quick out, 2 away.
Phil Koch. Let's take a look at what he was able to do to Justin Morneau with the bases loaded. He came into the game to help Marte out, and he threw a first pitch breaking ball to Morneau, which he rolled over to Santiago. That's a big pitch and a big out in this game.
Indeed, it left the bases loaded where the Twins again were trying to rebuild their lead. And it really would have been a devastating situation had Morneau gotten a hit, because Marte retired 2 straight, then he walked 3 straight before Koch was able to clean it up.
Managers can tolerate a lot of things up here, but they cannot tolerate the base on balls. When you come up here, you have to throw strikes.
There's a 1-1. And I guess for so many years, Rod, that's what made the Twins so successful in their approach. Everybody that got to the big leagues, I mean, they didn't have the big power arms, but they just pounded the strike zone.
They're still doing that. They've walked the second fewest of any of the American League teams, but they don't strike out very many, which means they're giving up a lot of hits. But Rick Anderson has been a really nice sidekick for Ron Gardenhire, the manager. They've been together every step of the way.
Through a lot of really good seasons. Good pitch. He got him looking, and Jackson is caught staring at strike 3. 1-2-3 frame for Swarzak. for Minnesota, 4-6-0 for Detroit. And as we go to the 7th inning, Phil Koch, who got the huge out of Morneau back in the 6th inning with the bases loaded, still out there.
Hey fans, you can follow the Detroit Tigers with the MLB.com at Bat12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit Tigers.com for details.
That is a serious app.
Yes, it is.
Keep you all dialed in. Major League Baseball. Well, here come the Twins now as we go to the 7th. It'll be Trevor Plouffe to lead things off for Minnesota. Plouffe and then Domint and then Dozier. Trevor had a 2-run single. That was back in the 4th inning.
Since May 28th, 14 home runs for Trevor Plouffe, which ties Jose Bautista for the American League lead in that span. So he's been trotting a lot lately, circling the pillows, so to speak.
Well, Plouffe, even in the minor leagues, had decent power, but the most he had hit in any minor league season was 15. And he already has 18 this year. So power numbers in a surge.
Struggled in April and May mightily.
Koch delivers a strike, 1-1. Phil, the third pitcher used tonight by the Tigers. Pfister knocked down in the 5th. Marte was taken out in the 6th. Outside, 2-1. Now the 2-1. Off the end of the bat, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Trevor Plouffe. 7 homers in a 7-game stretch back in June for Plouffe. That's when he was starting to make some headlines.
He's had a couple of games this year where he's hit 2 homers in the same game. One of those came against the Tigers.
Two and two. Bouncing in, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Plouffe. First of 4 between these two teams as we march toward the All-Star break and the halfway point coming up in terms of games played for the Tigers. This is their 80th game tonight, so tomorrow would be, I guess, the halfway point, their 81st. Here's a 3-2. Lifted back out of play. Season marching on. The summer is in full swing. It's a good time for the Tigers to get hot. We'll have to make a move on 2 different teams, though. Chicago and Cleveland both ahead of the Tigers in the standings.
Very much in striking distance, though.
Right back to Koch. Nice play.
Look what I found.
Plouffe is out. Well, we have a chance here. Let's check in with Shannon Hogan. What are you wearing, Shannon?
First of all, would you like to say that fly ball was like 3 feet from me? I was ready with the other hat. I was hoping I could catch it. It didn't happen. But this is one of the giveaways that they gave away today at the game. Obviously, the Alex Sevilla floppy hat, doing a little modeling for you. Wednesday, they're giving out the red, white, and blue Tigers cap, which is exciting. And then, of course, on Wednesday, they're going to have some fireworks for 4th of July. There will be fireworks on Friday as well. And Mario and Rod, this might be one of my most exciting days of the year. Will be Friday because it's country western night.
Nice.
I might wear cowboy boots. There could be some two-stepping. I don't know.
Really?
We'll see how it goes.
What, wait, before you go, put the red, white, and blue one on.
Okay, hold on. We'll see which one looks better.
The red, white, and blue.
Oh, you like this one better?
What do you got, Rod?
Okay, Rod?
It's hard for you to make any of them look bad.
Oh, you guys are too nice. And one more thing going on this week. Saturday, if you love classic cars, they're going to have the classic car show. So you're definitely going to want to check that out as well. I just want to know, if I brought the floppy hat up,
Negative.
would you wear it?
I would.
You would wear it.
Bring it up.
I'm bringing it up because Ryan Field refuses to wear anything goofy. That's why they make, they're like, oh, Shannon, do it. No worries.
That's
I'm bringing the hat up, and we'll see who looks better.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks,
bye.
Shannon. She's always a good sport.
Isn't she, though?
Base hit by Delmott gives the Twins another base runner. And we'll bring up Brian Dozier now. That's the 10th hit for Minnesota tonight. And ball one missing outside to Dozier.
I've noticed Phil Koch throwing a lot more changeups lately. At the beginning of the year, he was pretty much firm fastball, 92 to 94, and then that good slider that he's pretty much had all year. But he started to incorporate a few more changeups to get the batting average down against the right-handers and the left-handers.
Drilled to center field on a line. That's a base hit. Back-to-back singles now for the Twins.
Coming into play, Fields. Coming into play tonight, Phil Koch had given up a 300 batting average to both lefties and righties.
Well, meanwhile, the hits starting to pile up now for Minnesota. That's 11. And the Twins tonight have been really good with men in scoring position. 5 for 10. Number 9 hitter Jamie Carroll steps in.
Told you earlier that Denard spanned a very difficult I should say. Very difficult to strike out. Carroll, another guy that's in the top 10. Toughest to strike out. He's about once every 9 at bats as well.
In there for a strike.
They've got somewhat of a pesky team. They've got some speed at the top with Span and Revere. Of course, you know about Maurer, Morneau, and Willingham in the middle of that batting order. Doman has done his fair share of damage, too. He's on second base. Then you got guys like Carroll that doesn't really strike out all that often.
He's put the ball in play 3 times tonight. Twice on the ground, once in the air. And he'll look at a strike. Now it's 0-2.
Minnesota's issues this year has been pitching. They came in with a 4.95 ERA, which is the lowest, well, highest in the American League.
Octavio Dotel tuning up in the Detroit bullpen. Oh, 0-2 on Carroll. Swing and a miss. How about that? We talk about the fact that he never strikes out.
A little reverse psychology. You know how we roll.
Whatever works.
They can't say we jinxed that one.
No, they can't. They'll try, though. He's going to bring up Span. And Denard in this one tonight is a walk and a run scored. Otherwise, 0 for 3.
No mental lapses here for Phil Koch. Phil obviously has done very nice against Denard Span this year, but with 2 outs, left-hander on left-hander. Got to get him out.
Popped up. Looks like he'll do just that. Peralta coming over. Cabrera, and Cabrera makes the catch. And hands out a souvenir. A tip of the cap as well.
He's a beauty.
I'm gonna follow through. So Mario wanted to try on the floppy hat.
All right, that's great.
What do you think?
First of all, I like to wear mine like Fernando Rodney, so let's just do that.
A little tilt to the side.
It looks good. Okay, so that's one option. That's option A at home. You guys can tweet about this too. Which one do you think looks best on Mario?
Here's probably the answer: neither one.
I'm not sure. Yep, this one it's hard over the head.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Here,
I don't know. I'm looking at the monitor here. I think that looks pretty good. Rod has said he's taking a Ryan Field stance here. He is not putting the hats on, so we're going to go with that. All right, you guys get back to work. Get back to work.
All right, thanks, Shannon.
They're going to put you on GQ magazine.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Always fun.
Not. Thank you. We appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
All righty.
Well, one gone. Quentin Berry is out. I've been thoroughly embarrassed, but that's okay. Great giveaways. So make your plans to be here at Comerica Park. Here's Cabrera. And Miguel's had a big day. He's had 3 RBIs. He's had 2 hits. Tigers trail it by 2 runs.
Yeah, they are facing Miguel Cabrera just the way that they would like to, and that's with no runners in scoring position. Although he is in scoring position right where he's at as we speak. That's how dangerous he is.
6 runs, 11 hits for Minnesota, 4 runs on 6 hits for Detroit. Fielder is waiting on deck. 3 of the 4 Tigers runs have been knocked in by Cabrera tonight. Swarzak's still out there. He came on in the 5th inning. And that one misses inside.
Miguel steps in that batter's box, takes a deep breath, gathers himself, and does major damage.
A 2-1 outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. How do you pitch to Miguel Cabrera? I mean, is there?
You got to pitch him hard inside around the belt buckle. I mean, that's really the only area where he doesn't do a lot of damage. I mean, it's got to be firm. You got to get it on the black, and it's got to be right around the belt buckle. You can't go down because he hits that pitch. It's got to be right around the belt buckle or higher.
Swing and a miss. Now it's 3-2. Full count. And that is outside, ball 4. Well, you can walk them all you want, but now you got Fielder coming up there as the tying run. First walk for Swarzak. Here's the AT trivia question. Other than Prince Fielder, name the 5 Tigers first basemen to start an All-Star game. And your answer is you've got Hank Greenberg, you've got Rudy York, Norm Cash, Prince's dad Cecil, and of course Miguel Cabrera. So there are the other 5. Prince on his way to Kansas City this year. And Fielder lines one to left field, and it's caught chest high by Willingham. 2 gone. Gonna bring up Delman Young. July 10th, the All-Star game on Fox. Mr. Cabrera is going to be there, Mr. Verlander, and Prince Fielder as well. Here's Delman. Right back off the pitcher. It'll roll to the third baseman. Shovel to second, not in time. That one drilled Swarzak. It appeared on the foot.
It's a good heads-up play by Plouffe, the third baseman, grabbing that ball and then shuffling it over to the second baseman, Jamie Carroll, underneath. And it was a pretty firm feed by Plouffe. They almost got Cabrera. Swarzak say, I'm fine.
We'll give him a couple of warm-up pitches to make sure that he is. Meanwhile, the Tigers have the tying runs on now. Twins do have action. Alex Burnett warming up in the Minnesota bullpen. And so Swarzak will continue. However, he has runners at first and second. Rayburn will not bat. Bosch will pick up a bat and move to the on-deck circle. That ball was a bullet off the bat of Delman Young. So Bosch to pinch hit. He's only had 5 at bats against Swarzak, but good numbers, 3 out of 5. As Leland loves to say, maybe he can run into one here and give the Tigers the lead. So the skipper going to the bench. And here comes Ron Gardenhire, slowly heading out to the mound. And it appears he's bringing the hook with him. Yep. So Gardenhire takes the baseball. Swarzak out of the game. Will step aside as the Twins make a pitching change. Here's our Comerica game summary. The Twins holding on to a 6-4 lead here. Fister allowed 8 hits and 5 earned runs after getting off to a quick start. Miguel Cabrera having another good game tonight. Alex Avila has gotten red hot, 391 over his last 6. And right now the Tigers are threatening here with the tying runs on the bases and the numbers on Alex Burnett.
He's having a good year. The earned run average is under 2.
Bosch rips one foul.
He has not given up a run in 13 consecutive outings, spanning 14 2/3 innings. But you see the inherited runners. He's giving up somebody's runs because he's given up 7 of the 19 inherited runners that he has seen this year. Sometimes that's the sign that you really look at when measuring the statistics of a reliever, how many inherited runners he gives up.
Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball foul. Now it's 0-2 on the pinch hitter Bosch. 232 this year. He's hit 7 home runs. He's knocked in 27. And he's trying to pick up a couple of runners here. A walk to Cabrera and an infield hit for Delman Young. Burnett is the third pitcher used tonight by Minnesota. Hendricks and then Swarzak and now Burnett. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out at 94 up at the letters. Inning over. Tigers threaten, do not score. Here comes the top of the 8th. For baseball, another big crowd. Tigers trying to complete a comeback. Phil Koch is still out there, and Bosch will take over now in right field for Rayburn after pinch hitting for Ryan. In the meantime, Phil Koch, who came on to get the big ground out with the bases loaded in the 6th, pitched through the 7th, and now he's answering the bell here in the 8th. And he will face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters: Ben Revere, Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham. Trying to keep it a 2-run game. Tigers tonight have been out hit 11-7 on a night where we are in the shadow of a full moon. Here comes Ben Revere. Opening game in this 4-game series has been full of a lot of offense. 10 runs on 18 hits. Revere has been a tough out tonight. 2 singles, a walk. He has struck out. And so Koch now will have to make his way through 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. Hopefully no more. And the first pitch is high. Ball 1 to Ben Revere. Trying to get something started for the Twins, who got 4 in the 4th, 2 more in the 5th. Tigers did the majority of their scoring with a 3-run 5th inning. Tipped into the glove. 1 ball, 1 strike. Make it 2-1 now on Revere. Joe Mauer waiting his turn on deck for Minnesota. That's in there for a strike. 2-2 on Revere. Last thing Koch wants to do is see Revere reach base with his 15 stolen bases in a 2-run game here in the 8th. And the 2-2. Low, 3-2. This especially with the guys behind him in the lineup: Mauer, Willingham, Morneau. Ground ball to first, and Prince gobbles it up. So mission accomplished for Koch. He kept the leadoff man off the bases. One gone. Bring up Joe Mauer. He has seen Phil 14 times officially. He's got a couple of homers against him, 4 for 14. Mauer fouls it straight back. That time he went after the first pitch. 0-1.
Second time he's done that tonight in the 4 at-bats he's had. Doesn't usually do it, however.
Mauer tonight, 2 singles, a walk. He has knocked in a run. And you had to believe, Ron, that with the struggles he had been going through last year and even early this year, that he was just too good of a hitter to kind of fall off the map.
Minnesota was hoping so as well, because they're going to have him for a long, long time. He signed a huge contract with a lot of length on it just a couple of years ago.
And the 0-2. Got him, strike 3. Mauer took it looking.
Avila wanted the ball away, and he threw a front door breaking ball. He froze Joe Mauer with it, and the ball ended up right over the heart of the dish.
Alex had to reach back to get that pitch. Leland coming out with Willingham due up. They're going to want to bring a right-hander in. So Koch is done. Dotel about to enter the fray, and as he does, we'll be back. To 4. Here's the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet tomorrow night at the ballpark. Scherzer, Blackburn.
Blackburn hasn't had a very good year. He has won 4 and lost 5, and his earned run average is over 7.5. And meanwhile, Max Scherzer has really done nice work as far as the strikeouts and the walks ratio. And that earned run average continuing to come down for Max because he's been so good lately.
So Octavio Dotel comes out of the bullpen to face Willingham.
Opponent's hitting only .217 against Dotel, but yet he has an ERA over 4.
And it's in there for strike 1 on Willingham. Dotel takes over for Koch, who came on in the 6th inning. Nice job tonight by Phil. He got that big out with the bases loaded in the 6th. Now the 0-1. Bouncing ball to short. Easy play for Peralta. Willingham is out, and Dotel does his job. We are going to the bottom of the 8th. Tigers need a couple of runs. Hits. And we'll see if the bottom of the lineup can get something started here. It'll be Johnny Peralta to lead things off, the number 7 hitter. Then Avila and then Santiago due up against the right-hander Burnett. And the pitch is outside. 1 ball and no strikes on Peralta. Burnett had to take over in the 7th inning for Swarzak, and he got the strikeout of the pinch hitter Bosch. Here's the 1-0. That rides inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Johnny, a strikeout, a ground out, and a line out. 0 for 3. Inside again. 3 balls and no strikes on Peralta.
A real nice Monday night gathering here at Comerica Park. Standing room only. People everywhere.
Avila waiting on deck. You see 3-0 pitch, and it's down the middle of strike 3-1 on Johnny Peralta. A stark contrast to some of the crowds they got in Tampa, which I guess they're used to down there.
Yeah, they don't draw very well.
Inside, he walked him. That's a start. Lead off base on balls. That'll get Gardenhire starting to pace. And it's going to bring up Avila, who already has 2 hits tonight. Six walks now for Minnesota pitching. Danny Worth now will pinch run down at first base. Avila 2 singles, a run scored. 2 of the 7 Tigers hits. And he looks at strike 1. The Avila average now at 254. Checked it down low and blocked by Domit. Burnett, a native of Anaheim, California. He's got the pinch runner Worth at first base. Burnett pitching parts of each of the last 2 years, although he pitched quite a bit last year. 66 appearances out of the Minnesota pen. Fouled back out of play, and it's 1-2 on Avila. Tigers at one point tonight trailed 6-1. Then they scored 3 in the 5th inning to make it 6-4. Neither team has scored since. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Worth will go down to second base. Avila is out.
Burnett got a steady diet of breaking pitches. First couple breaking pitches, then he threw him a fastball, then he finished him off with a well-located breaking ball at the bottom of the zone.
We'll bring up Santiago. Runner in scoring position now as Worth takes second. They have ruled a wild pitch on strike 3. There's a breaking ball that missed. Santiago is 0 for 3. Ground balls all 3 times up. Twins tonight have stranded 10 men on base in this game. Tigers have left 8 of their own. Here's the 1-0. Outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Tigers will flip the order over as Jackson waits on deck. In the air, center field. Span is on the move. Worth will tag up. Catch is made. Danny coming to third base. Here's the throw, and he's in there. Two gone down with a runner in third. Here at Comerica Park in downtown Detroit tonight, game 1 in this 4-game series featuring the Tigers and the Twins. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, we are happy to have you with us here tonight along with Shannon Hogan. And in the truck, Brady Klima, our producer, Mark Isofano, our director. So it's 2 gone down for Austin Jackson. AJ 1 for 3 tonight. Now has hit safely in 9 consecutive games. And the Tigers in search of a 2-out run. Ball 1 high. Jackson's longest hitting streak is 12. He did that last May. Up on that with a 9-gamer going. Here's the 1-0. Checked it high. 2 balls, no strikes. He did not go. Says Paul Nart. Cabrera and Fielder will each get another at bat before this one is decided. That's in there. 2-1. Inning start with a walk to Peralta. 2 outs later, the pinch runner Worth is at third. Fouled away. 2-2 on Jackson. Action in the Twins bullpen right now. Kyle Waldrop is tuning up. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball to third, scooped up there by Plouffe. Jackson is out and the inning is over. No runs, a walk, one left. On to the ninth we go. Hold the Twins here and get it going. The Tigers 3 out. These are updated numbers in the Central. Minnesota 8.5 back. And Cleveland falling tonight. See if the Tigers can indeed take advantage of that. Here is Justin Morneau to lead it off as we go to the ninth inning. And Morneau rips the first pitch back up the middle where the shortstop Santiago is playing right behind the bag.
Gotta love those scouting reports.
One gone here in the ninth. Santiago taking over at short and Worth staying in the game to play second.
Santiago right behind the bag. Dotel can't pick it, but Santiago is right there to make the play for him.
There's Trevor Plouffe. 2-run single back in the fourth.
That is one of the things that we have seen evolve really the last 5 years, I should say, with all the data that's being looked over now by the coaching staffs and the video coordinators on what guys' tendencies are. We sure see a lot of infielders moving these days.
It's in the air down the right field line. Bosch will be running out of room on this one.
Not so much with the outfield, but the infielders really overplay a guy to the left or to the right, depending on what the data tells them he does most of the time. That would be the hitter.
Joe Madden has done a lot of that this year with the Tampa Bay Rays because they have struggled so much defensively, trying to put them in the best position to make plays. But you typically see it on the big slugging left-handers. A lot of times that second baseman will play in short right field, or even what the Pirates do, move the third baseman over to short right field.
Something else we have started to see managers do. And that's when right-handers are up. They take the second baseman and put him on the shortstop side of the bag, and very seldom has that been done in the past.
Here's the 2-2. Way outside, 3-2. Waiting on deck, Ryan Domit. Fly ball right field, fairly deep. Bosch backing up, has plenty of room, and he makes the catch. 2 gone.
And don't forget to stay with us, because as soon as this game ends, our coverage continues. The Tigers Live. You'll hear from the manager, Jim Leland, the players. Plus, we'll break down the game, show you all the highlights. Tigers Live immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit.
So here is Domet now with 2 outs. 6-4. Twins have the lead here in the 9th. Strike 1. Been a pretty good night tonight for Domet. He's had 2 hits. He's walked, been hit by a pitch. He's knocked in a run. And he slices one toward left center field. Another base hit. He'll keep the 9th inning going for Minnesota with his 3rd hit of the night. 2-out single variety. And now 12 hits for Minnesota in this game. It'll keep it going for Dozier. He's had 2 of those 12 Minnesota hits. Tap slowly toward third. Cabrera has no play at all. Everybody is safe. An infield hit. A sheepish grin there from Dozier. They all count.
And nothing Miguel can do here with 2 outs, obviously playing deep, not expecting the bunt from Dozier, although it was a swinging bunt.
Thirteenth hit now for Minnesota. Twins want a little bit more speed. A big runner standing out there at second base, so they'll bring in a pinch runner. Mastriani is out there at second base. Fouled straight back by Carroll. Struck out his last time up. He is 0 for 4. Twins trying to make it even tougher on the Tigers when we get to the bottom of the 9th. It's a 2-run spread right now. And the 0-1. 0-2 on Carroll. Veteran infielder, has played with Montreal, Washington, Colorado, and also in the Central Division with Cleveland. Mastriani at second base and Dozier down at first. Bouncing ball to short. Santiago throws him out, and the inning is over. So when we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, Barry will lead it off. Cabby and Fielder will also bat.
brought to you by Miller Lite. And Cabrera earlier in this ball game hit a ball into the left center field gap with Jackson and Berry aboard, and with the speed of those two, gets himself a couple of more RBIs to add to his impressive total this year.
So Cabrera will be batting second in this inning. We have a new pitcher now. Matt Capps, their closer, is on the disabled list. Glenn Perkins will try and close this one down.
Well, Glenn Perkins has plenty of arm strength, and he is 2 for 4 in saves this year. 41 strikeouts, 33 2/3 innings logged for Perkins. 13 base on balls given up by Glenn.
Meanwhile, the new catcher is Drew Butera after they pinch ran for Domet. So here we go. Tigers need 2 runs here to keep this game alive. And the Quentin Berry chance starting here at the ballpark. Berry, Cabrera, fielder. Single and a walk in this ball game for Berry. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Plouffe and also Morneau. And right at the cut of the grass in the corner of the infield.
Perkins brings it home in 95 and is fouled out of play. Perkins last year was dynamite out of their pen, a 2.48 ERA in 65 appearances. And he got him, strike 3, and Berry knew it. He is down on strikes, 1 away. Five strikeouts total now for Minnesota pitching tonight. We'll bring up Cabrera, who is 4 for 17 in his career against Perkins. Big night tonight for Miguel, 3 RBIs. And he looks at strike 1. Fielder waiting on deck. The 0-1. Cabrera with his 3 RBIs now has 65, which trails Josh Hamilton, who leads the American League. Cabrera now second. And there's a base hit to left. Cabrera has another hit. 3rd of the night. That'll bring the tying run up. Here comes Fielder. Has been walked twice, once intentionally tonight. That is the 8th Tigers hit. And there is life for Detroit here in the 9th inning. And there's a base hit to left. Back-to-back singles, and the Tigers now have the tying runs on. Not going to be easy tonight for Ron Gardenhire.
Well, it's a pretty good bet that Delman Young will swing at the first pitch as well if Perkins makes it an invitable pitch. Delman does not walk very often and loves to swing at the first pitch. When I say he doesn't walk very often, I mean that too. He's only walked 8 times this year.
Yikes. There's the strike.
In 276 at bats.
That's not a lot, is it? I think he only had a couple in the month of June. He's up there to swing it. 0-1 the count. Tying runs on. Fly ball, right field. Moving back, Revere to the track to make the catch. Cabrera will move up Delman gave the crowd something to cheer about, but it fell a little bit short. And there are 2 outs, and now Bosch will stand in. Brennan came in as a pinch hitter back in the 7th for Rayburn and struck out. 1st and 3rd for the Tigers with 2 away. Here comes the crowd, 34,000 plus. And a foul back out of play, 0-1. G-Money has moved on deck. Danny Worth was due next if it gets that far, and that's what Bosch has plans on here. Plus he hits one out. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 96 from Perkins. It's got him 0-2.
Probably going to throw that same pitch right here. It's going to be up. At about 97 miles an hour, Bosch is going to have to lay off of it.
And the 0-2. Fouled away.
That was a good pitch to hit. No balls, 2 strikes. But it is 96.
Ooh, it was right there, wasn't it? 0-2 on Bosch. Here it is. Fouled away again. Perkins saying, here's my best.
Can't believe that Perkins has given Brennan those 2 pitches to hit the last 2 pitches after getting ahead. No balls, 2 strikes.
Cabrera at 3rd, Fielder at 1st. They represent the tying runs in a 6-4 game in the 9th. That missed 1-2. Perkins letting it all hang out here in the 9th inning.
Not a whole lot of left-handed closers in the major leagues as we speak, but if you have 97 with your fastball, that's definitely enough giddy up on your fastball to get it done.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the Twins hold on to win it. Perkins strikes out 2 in the 9th, and Minnesota comes to town and takes game 1 in this 4-game series.
Nice offensive effort tonight by Detroit, trying to stay in this one, but it's all about starting pitching, and Doug Fister just kind of struggled here once again.
So the Twins put up 13 hits, and they beat the Tigers in game 1 of the series 6-4. We'll be back with more from Comerica.